I am on the campus of the historic University of Mississippi. I am right now, this is somewhat like a quad area where you see you have the open space flanked by buildings. But the building that I really want to talk about right now is the Lyceum, and this is where I am right now, standing in front of it. And just a little bit about the University of Mississippi, better known as Ole Miss. Excuse me. It was founded in 1848, and it is considered the flagship institution of Mississippi. And it's no secret the troubled past that this institution has had with civil rights and with segregation. And I know you can't see it, I'm going to pan around again. But at the end, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. At the end of this kind of grassy area, that there's a Confederate monument that is right there. And if you've been listening to the news and things like that, you know there's been a lot of uproar and a lot of petitions and a lot of calls for that statue to be moved. And I think it was last week, maybe earlier this week, that the Mississippi Institutions of Higher Learning, the Board of Trustees for the Mississippi's colleges and universities, they did vote to move that Confederate statue to another location not quite as prominent on campus. And so that is definitely a win, because students, faculty, and staff alike have been, calling for the removal of that statue for as long as really I can remember, because I actually was a student here at Ole Miss from 2007 to 2009. This is where I got my graduate degree from. And so we're going to walk around a little bit, and we'll talk more about the Lyceum as we go around to the back, because we're going to look at the statue and monument for James Meredith as well. And this wing of the building is actually an annex. The Lyceum, this building is the administration building. So it holds the offices of the chancellor, vice chancellor, legal counsel, and things of that nature. And here is a historical marker. I'm gonna go over there and let you all see that. Okay. So we're gonna walk around to the back side of the Lyceum. And this is a beautiful campus. If you've never had the opportunity to come down to Oxford and you get the chance, do so. This is the side of the Lyceum. And as you see coming into view, this is the statue, the monument commemorating James Meredith and his integration of the university, October 1962. I'm going to go back over So I'm gonna stand right here and just let you all see the building. The Lyceum is actually the sole surviving building of the original 5 buildings that made up the University of Memphis campus when it was founded. And if you see the columns from this backside and from the front, you'll notice that it has that Greek revival design that was popular in the late 18th and early 19th centuries. And an interesting fact about the Lyceum is that during the Civil War, it actually served as a hospital. And there are supposed to be bullet holes on the columns from the nights of the riots, but I got close to them and I couldn't really see them. I don't know if I just didn't know what I was looking at. But those bullet holes are a reminder of that night, you know, going into October 1st, where people, segregationists and white supremacists, they fought tooth and nail not to have this institution integrated. But a little bit more about James Meredith and this monument. See if you can see it right here. On October 1st, 1962, James Meredith was admitted as the first black student here at Ole Miss. And the riots that happened the night before left 2 people dead, hundreds injured, and countless others were arrested. And that was a climax of a fight between Democratic Governor Ross Barnett, the state of Mississippi, and the federal government, because James Meredith, with the help of the NAACP, actually filed suit to be able to attend Ole Miss. And so it was finally decided by appeal by the U.S. Supreme Court in September, I believe, of 1962, where he would be allowed to enroll at this institution. James Meredith, he was really intentional about why he chose Ole Miss, because it was the embodiment of the supremacy. It was the embodiment of, you know, white power and white prestige here in Mississippi. And he chose that moment to try to enroll because it was just after JFK had been inaugurated, and he knew that the black vote was monumental in that. And I'm going through the monument as I'm talking. The monument was dedicated on October 1st, 2006, in front of a large crowd, which included notable people such as Morgan Freeman and Congressman John Lewis. It has a prominent location between the Lyceum, which is the administration building, and the library. And it features a life-size statue of Mr. Meredith as he's walking towards the center of campus. And it is really likely that this is one of the paths that he would take when he was here in 1962. But the difference between this statue and in 1962 is that he had to have U.S. Marshals with him to keep him safe. The design of the monument was meant to mimic the architecture of campus, and on the top of it you see the words courage right here, knowledge, opportunity, and on this fourth side, you can see it where it says perseverance. And those words were really captured the essence of what the university has been trying to do in racial reconciliations and things of that nature.